tell people that's already. Here we go. Well, hello, good evening. I hope everyone is doing well during this quarantine time. This is Dr. Stephen Evans. I'm the publisher and editor-in-chief of Outclick magazine. We are here in South Florida, but today we're talking with Rayvon Owen, who is actually in Los Angeles, California.
Hey.
I've been chatting and get to know each other. It's really been fun catching up with you. Tell us a little bit about yourself, kind of how you got started in music and your musical career, if you'd like, Rayvon.
Yeah. Well, first of all, thank you for having me on. I'm just here trying to share it on Facebook as we're going live. I was trying to look for it on Facebook, but
Go ahead. If you go to our page,
yeah,
facebook.com/outclick, eventually it will show the video live, and then you can share it to your page. So, and I'm going to do that too.
Perfect.
So we'll be multitasking. Absolutely.
Yeah. But no, I just wanted to say thank you for having me on, and I'm excited to be here and yeah, share this new music with you. But yeah, I'm originally from Richmond, Virginia, and I'm now out here in Los Angeles, like you said, and been making music for a little bit now, and I just released my new EP, and I'm excited to share kind of this whole new chapter with people and listeners and kind of music fans out there.
Mm-hmm. Now, you and I have some similarities. How did you get started in music?
Yes, we do have some similarities. We were catching up. I got started in music singing in church.
Okay.
I sang in the gospel choir, the young choir called the Sunbeam Choir, and it basically that's kind of where the passion for music started, and I grew to, I would sing, and I saw the reaction of the congregation and how they would scream and holler, and it was very enthusiastic church that I grew up in. I loved it, but that's kind of what got me like, okay, well, I must have something here to work with. So that's what got me curious, and then I continued to wanted to learn more and educate myself about music and learn theory and choir. I joined the Richmond Boys Choir, and then eventually went to high school for performing arts. And so I was pretty much doing all genres, classical, choral music, musical theater. Yeah, I was doing it all. I was just that curious kind of kid who wanted to learn everything I could about music and performing, and just want to increase my musicianship.
Mm-hmm. Did you get up in front of church and sing solos as a kid?
Definitely. Back when there was like the foam over top of the microphone, it was like bigger than my face, just about. And I sang my first solo, and yeah, I definitely got a reaction. I was like, it was like a magic wand to me, in a way. It was very, that's what it felt like, as a kid. But I didn't. I just knew I liked music, and I liked, the choir director would always kind of pick me out, to reference the parts. Like I could sing all of the parts, and I remember going from soprano to tenor in like a month when I went through my voice change. Because I was, when you sing a lot as a kid, and it's funny because, especially, I'm kind of glad because I wanted to be like famous as a kid, but I'm kind of glad I'm becoming more known now as an adult with my voice. Because if you were a child singer who was a star, like you can't, it's hard to kind of transfer into today when you're trying to sing like that. Your voice changes real fast.
Now, do you have a favorite gospel song you remember as a kid? I'm putting you on the spot. Is there a favorite gospel song that comes to mind?
I have so many. I mean, my first song was, I don't know if you know the Brooklyn Choir.
Oh yes, the Brooklyn Tabernacle.
Yeah, they have a children's version that also released an album, like a children's album, choir album.
Right.
And that was I'm pretty sure that was like my first solo, or at least my first big solo, and it was called it's called There Is Hope. Um, and like, people are dying every day, drugs are taking them away. It's like a really cute, like, inspirational song just about like there is hope, Lord, there is hope. You know, even though, hey, it's kind of relevant today still. Like, even though there might be some troubles, people dying, we're going through some difficult times. Like, there's still hope.
Yeah, there's still hope. That's actually a really appropriate message right now. And you've done musical theater. I love musical theater. We work a lot with local musical theaters. What's the favorite one that you? I'll put you on the spot again. What's the favorite one that you've seen? One of mine is Aladdin that just came through. If you've not seen the Aladdin version that just came through, it's an absolutely phenomenal show. You leave singing the music for weeks and weeks and weeks. What's your favorite?
I haven't seen the new. I mean, of course, I've seen the original Aladdin, but Disney was like life. It still is. I mean, I love Disney, but outside, one of my favorite musicals in general, I would say West Side Story, The Wiz, Hairspray. Those are some of my favorite. I mean, the theatrical version and the movie version of The Wiz was just, as a kid, I was always so fascinated with it. And of course, Diana Ross's performance was just so captivating. And I just like how it took a twist on such a classic tale, with somewhat of a happy ending, but it put a totally different spin on it. And I that's what I love about music. I personally love arranging and just putting my own twist to something that may be familiar or, something classic, because it gives you both of those. It gives you the nostalgic feeling, but it also gives you like a more a fresh take, I guess. So.
Yeah. And so who've been some of your biggest musical influences? Because everyone sort of has both those professional mentors, they've, albums they've listened to, or maybe personal mentors that have helped you along the way.
Yeah, well, honestly, he was an influence before he became a person. Lionel Richie was a big early influence for me. My mom that's probably her favorite singer. Her favorite artist is Lionel Richie. But I grew up singing gospel, like I said, on Kirk Franklin and Yolanda Adams, Donnie McClurkin. A lot of those artists really inspired me. And like Kirk Franklin, how he pushed the boundaries within gospel music, I was always drawn to that too. Like, stomp, when people want to stomp, Mary Mary, that was one of the first physical CDs I bought, was a Mary Mary album.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like but then my first R&B CD that I actually ever got was Donny Hathaway. It was like a classics, CD. And I put that in, and as soon as I heard the piano intro, to A Song for You, I like fell in love with him and like was drawn into R&B and soul and Stevie Wonder, Luther Vandross, and of course Whitney Houston.
Like, almost everyone I talk to comes back to Whitney Houston at some point.
You can't deny it. There's just like no denying that she, still to this day, even though she's not with us anymore, is one of the best. Like that was probably one of the ultimate people I wanted to see in concert, and eventually, I love how Brandy worked with her in that movie, and Cinderella, and I just wanted to like get out, and Jordan Sparks, even who I love, Jordan. I was like, I want to do something with her someday. I'll, hopefully get to, but unfortunately she's not with us anymore. But definitely, you always come back to Whitney because she's probably the best vocalist of all time.
And you can't help but just sing. There's a Belinda David who is here recently who does all of Whitney's music. I don't know if you've heard of her. She was here and did a concert at the Broward Center, and I've never seen people get out of their seats at the Broward Center and start dancing in the aisle. She turned it into a nightclub. I've never seen that before. So that would be,
I love that.
if you ever get to connect with her, I actually got to interview her before it, and the flood of memories that you have when that music comes on is just absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah. It's nothing like it. Nothing like it. I mean, there's great memories attached to music. That's the one thing I love about it.
Yeah. If you want to share a little bit about your own personal coming out story, I think that's something also we have in common. With the church background and trying to kind of marry those, and not throw the baby out with the bathwater, and still glean the good things from it, and at the same time understand your sexuality, and maybe share a little bit about that with us if you'd like.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, look, I think it's definitely been a journey. I mean, like many people who identify as LGBTQ plus or however they identify, I think we all go through a journey of self-acceptance, a journey of growth, and for some it might be easier than others. For me personally, it was definitely a challenge. I mean, especially coming from, like you said, church background. Uh, I had to get over that mental hump of truly accepting who I am. But I mean, there's no denying it. At the end of the day, I think we all know that. But it's when it's something that's just been instilled in you and in the community, and just in the state of the world, like in society, it's just. I mean, that's supposedly majority, straight people. So it's more of the normality. It's more of what you see nowadays. You see more on TV and in the media. You see more, LGBT couples. You see, different examples of representation in the media, which is why I think that's so important. Because, if me and honestly, I'm not that old, so it was around, but just being in, kind of the South and being in the community I grew up in, it's just not something you saw all the time. And I definitely didn't have, growing up, I definitely didn't have any examples of an out couple, or like, I didn't know any relationship that was just like, oh, that's the gay couple down the street. Like there was none of that, where you do see that more now, especially out in the West Coast. But yeah, so it's just, you don't really know that there is a safe place and a safe space for you, and that you can be accepted, and you do have family. But it just takes a while to get to that place.
I think
Or
for
at
me,
least it did for me, what I'm saying.
I think it's what you were saying. There were no examples. How do you create an identity around something when you don't have a language for it? You don't have any examples to follow. And so that was sort of my story. How do you create a whole new self when you don't even have words to describe a language? You don't have any kind of thing like that to identify with. And so it was it was a struggle, but at the end of the day, you have to recognize it, and you have to reconcile that. You have to become that. So
definitely. No, I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you. It's definitely a process, but I'm so much. It was one of the, to me, it seemed like one of the heaviest decisions I had to make, but I think it's one of the best decisions that I've made. I mean, I feel so much more free. There's so much power in truth and in freedom. That's important to me, and I don't think that changes, how God or the universe, or I don't think that changes how God sees you or sees anybody. So if we're all made in His image, and I was made like this, then then God must have a little gay in him. If everybody is in Him a little bit, then if you can't work for all, then yeah. That's what I'm trying to say, basically.
Yeah. Well, I know when in trying to hide it, you don't realize how much work it is in hiding it until you don't hide it anymore. And then you think, wow, I spent so much time and energy hiding it. And I haven't lost one friend in being out. And if anything, it's opened a lot of doors, and people are welcoming the conversation in new ways that I really never dreamed. And it's been don't know if I would say a blessing, but it's been a great journey, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. And I've got to meet, and meet people like you and talk about our commonalities like that. But
No,
I want to ask you too. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was going to switch topics.
Oh, yeah, no, go ahead. I'm like, yes, I agree with you. All right.
And then I have to ask you, you were on American Idol.
I did that. That was a thing that I did.
What, of course, everyone wants to know, what was it like to be on American Idol? Did you get to meet Harry Connick Jr.? Did you get to meet some of the people? I mean, it looks like a really fun experience. I'm sure at some point you were on the stage and they pushed you out on the stage, or, kind of what was it like to be on that kind of show?
I always say it was the craziest ride of emotions that anyone could ever go through. Like you laugh one moment and you're crying the next, and you're fearful the next. But it was extremely exciting, and definitely like what a platform and opportunity to be able to go out there and be able to perform and create and arrange this music and play in front of millions of people. Like it's so rare to be, I guess, in that position, especially to make. First of all, it's extremely rare to make it even on the show, and then to make it as far as I did. So I feel super like honored and blessed that enough people believed in me and like saw something in me to continue to push me that far to almost winning. But look, I still feel like a winner, regardless.
Yeah.
Because it jumps so much for me, and it's like a teaching experience, like no other.
Yeah. I can
Like
I can play the piano.
You can't pay for that. You can't pay for that type of lesson. Like as far as entertainment, yeah.
Yeah, I can play the piano. I can play the organ. I can't sing, and I sure can't get out there and sing a cappella like that.
Nah, yeah, that's okay. We all got our strengths and everything, but
were you
honestly, I love when people sing like just regardless, flat out.
Were you nervous when you got out there in front of them and had to do that? I have to ask that.
I was extremely nervous. It was very but it was a good nervous energy. It was a positive. Like you spun it into the performance. You're nervous at first, you're terrified, but you just put it into the performance. I'm sorry. 1 second. Let me see why my computer is not charging. I don't want it to die on you.
Okay.
1 second. My bad. Let me just
go ahead.
Check the plug really fast.
Go for it. So we're talking with Rayvon Owen. He is charging his computer. He is out in Los Angeles, California right now. And we are talking about his new music video. He's going to be back here in just a moment. We're catching up on his coming out story, growing up in church. He was on American Idol, which is a phenomenal experience. I was watching the YouTube video of it before. So if you have questions in the chat, put the questions up in the chat. I'm sure he would love to answer questions as he gets his computer charged back up.
I'm moving to a different plug, but I'm going to move this closer over here.
That's all right.
Go ahead. What were you saying? We'll talk as I'm doing this.
I was saying we have all gotten a crash course in multiple levels of technology that we never dreamed were possible.
Oh my gosh. No, this is a different world. Like I'm totally getting used to this whole world of virtual concerts and everything. Like but it's pretty dope. This could be the future for a while. And I think a lot will come from this in regards to technology and, how things are moving.
Yeah. So tell us about your new music video called Honesty. It's on your album Lost Virginia. Did I get that correct?
Yeah, you got that right.
All right, good. Tell us about the video. You co-wrote it. And it's a little bit about your story and some
Yes.
about you. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so I wrote Honesty in Tokyo, Japan, with Sonny Boy, an amazing producer out there who's worked with like BTS and a lot of the big, K-pop and J-pop acts. Uh, and we were vibing and really just connecting, and he gave me the space to, we were working. It was very symbiotic. We were working on the music, and then I would really just start seeing, talking about the lyrics, and what was really inspired by, kind of some past experiences, not necessarily a full out relationship, but some situations, some a situationship that, okay. And just coming from those and putting that into this song of being like, hey, I want your full self. Like, I don't want just, a part of you. I don't want for you to just reach out to me when it's convenient to you, or, late at night. I want you to give me all of you, and in return, I will give you all of myself,
There's what was the one I wrote down? Why you only call me when you ain't sober?
Yeah.
Is one of the lyrics. So apparently someone drunk dialed you in the past.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying why, and there's different layers to that, but it's like, why late at night, after you've gone out and had a couple drinks and you're feeling more confident, why are you only reaching out to me when it's, like I said, when it's convenient for you or when you're feeling yourself, So that's kind of where that came from and what inspired that, which I think a lot of people can relate to those kind of, types of relationships. At least I've talked to some friends who have also had those type of situations where they feel they're in a full out relationship with this person.
Can you hear? We're losing you for a minute. We're losing your internet. Are you still there? Hello? We're losing your audio. We lost you. He'll be back. We'll get his audio back. Apparently the internet connection in Los Angeles is a little weak. So we'll be getting him back here in just a moment. So if you'd like, share with us what you're doing right now. We're talking with Rayvon Owen in Los Angeles, California, about his new music video called Honesty, and being honest in relationships. So we look forward to him coming back here in just a moment. So if you'd like to chat with us, let us know here in the chat comments. But hold tight. We'll be right back with Rayvon Owen. His computer may be out of power, so we'll see, but hopefully he'll be back. I'd love to chat with him about his new album. If you'd like to join the chat for now and come in and talk with me, I'm going to go ahead and put that in the chat link for now, and you can join and chat in. If anybody is watching and able would like to join, Rayvon is coming back in here in just a minute. So I hope everyone is doing well. If you would like to join me on my Facebook page, I've been doing Convertible Talk with Stephen, and we've been driving around Wilton Manors. And instead of doing coffee talk with Linda Edwards, Linda Rich, whatever her name was from Saturday Night Live, we have been doing convertible talk with Steven. So you can join those on my page. Those have been a lot of fun. So I put the link in the chat if you want to join, or you and I will talk for a moment until Rayvon is coming back with us. Here we go. We've all gotten a crash course in technology that we never dreamed of before. We'll see if we can get it back. If not, we'll start a new stream here in a moment. All right, well, we will start a new stream and chat with him here in a little while. Thank you for joining us and look forward to the next video. Thank you and have a great afternoon. Look for Rayvon Owen here in a few.